Hello and welcome to another video of Solidity Do-It-Yourself tutorials. In this video, I'm going to talk about inheritance and override. What are those? So let's look at our first Solidity program. And we have this new balance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you inheritance first, wherein I'm going to write a new program known as fourth Solidity, and it's going to inherit or get all the functions and variables from first Solidity. Let's do that. And just to make it simple, before we start, I'm going to comment out this because I don't want it to change anything in amount for now. So let's create a new file. We call it as fourth solidity.sol. And I'm going to copy the same thing from here just to save some time. And I'm going to say fourth solidity. The keyword is inheritance, is denoting inheritance, and I'm going to say first Solidity. And of course, I need the import statement. So I'm going to say import first Solidity.sol. And of course, I need the semicolon. And if I do this, doing the is keyword is going to inherit everything that first Solidity has. Let's do that. Let's compile. And let me deploy that. I'm going to make a little bit more space for here. And you can see that the contract port Solidity is deployed and it has everything that first Solidity has. Interesting, correct? Now, I'm going to make it more interesting to talk about new balance function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a new balance, a fresh new balance function, which is going to override the simple bank balance plus amount thing. What it's going to do is if the amount is greater than 10, then it is going to subtract 1 from that. If the amount is equal to 10, then it's going to add 1 to it. And if it is less than 10, then it's not going to do anything. So again, repeat one more time. I'm going to write a new balance function in my fourth Solidity, where I'm going to override this new balance function there. So let's see how I'm going to do it. So I am going to write a function inside this. I'm going to call it as function new balance. Remember, new balance also exists in first Solidity. So function new balance uint amount, exactly the same thing, public, and I'm going to add override keyword over here. And because I'm doing override, I'm going to say virtual over here. Very simple. Because I'm going to do override, I'm going to say virtual in the main function, new balance in first Solidity. And in fourth Solidity, I'm going to do override. Very simple. And let's write down if then else statement. So let's see how to write it. So if amount is greater than 10, so if the passed amount is greater than 10, then I'm going to say amount equals amount minus 1. And then I'm going to pass it to the new balance from first Solidity. So if the amount is greater than 10, so if it is 11, I'm going to subtract 1 and then pass it to first Solidity dot new balance. Else if amount is equal to 10, then I'm going to add 1. So amount is equal to 10, then I'm going to add 1. And then I'm going to pass it to the first solidity. Bracket close. So see if, else if, and then else if the amount is less than 10, right? Then don't do anything. Just pass it to the new balance in first solidity. Very, very simple. And I'm just going to close the bracket for the function. So if the amount is greater than 10, minus 1 equals to 10 plus 1, and then pass it to first solidity, which is going to add the bank balance. The bank balance is starting number as 50. So if I pass 11, it's going to be greater than 10. Amount minus 1 is 10, and it's going to add to the bank balance 50, which is going to make it 60. Let's do it, right? So I'm going to delete the contract here, compile, and I'm going to deploy the contract. And you see that there is a new balance. So this new balance is now this function, not the function is in first solidity, because I used override. So let's do 11. So new balance 11 executed here. And then if I say get new balance, so 11 minus 1 is 10, 10 plus 50 is 60. So get new balance 60. If I do 5, new balance, get new balance is 65 because it's adding 5 to it. And if I do 10, so 10 plus 1, 11, so this will be 76. That's how a function is overridden and a new function could be created. So this is used wherein if you want to use a contract which is already written. Now, by the way, I wanted to also talk to you about ABI, application interface. So binary interface. So when you compile in the compile window, when you compile the program, you see compilation details. And within that, you have this application binary interface in which it gives you all the details about the inputs at transaction mapping, what it does, what kinds of input it requires. So ABI is required for calling a function. So whenever I'm calling the function first solidity over here, I am using the ABI. So ABI is valid for all the contracts. This is the bytecode of the contract. This is the metadata. This is the name of the contract, port solidity, and it gives you like all the details. So you should be also aware of ABI, which is application binary interface, which is used to call a contract from other contracts. So ABI is what we are using to call a contract from a different contract. So having said that, please follow this tutorial and you can use this code or get the code from the GitHub link, which is mentioned in the video below. Again, thank you for watching.